We've covered 20 empires, from ancient Egypt that lasted 3,000 years to the Nazi regime that collapsed in 12. From the Mongols who conquered half the world on horseback to the Dutch who dominated through trade and finance. From the Roman legions to the Aztec Triple Alliance to the Byzantine Empire that refused to die for a millennium. Every empire had different geography, different resources, different challenges. But here's what we've learned. There are patterns, principles that show up again and again, ways that power is built, maintained, and lost that transcend time and place. And today, for our season finale, we're doing something different. We're not telling you about another empire. We're taking everything we've learned from these 20 episodes and distilling it into a practical guide, not for conquering nations, but for building your own empire, your career, your projects, your goals, your life. Because the principles of power aren't just historical curiosities. They're tools you can use right now. So how do you build something that lasts? How do you avoid the mistakes that brought down emperors? And how do you create a legacy that matters? I'm Jack, this is Blueprints of Power, and today we're giving you the ultimate blueprint. Let's go.
Schemes in the shadows, plans in the light, kings and conquerors chasing the night. Brick by brick, their stories grow tall, but every empire learns how to fall.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Season 1 finale of Blueprints of Power. I'm Jack.
I'm Lily.
And I'm Charlie.
And wow, we've come a long way. 20 episodes covering empires from every continent, every era, every type of power structure.
This has been an incredible journey. I've learned so much.
Same. And what's amazing is how much these ancient and historical stories are still relevant. The lessons about power, leadership, adaptation, and survival apply today.
That's exactly what we're doing today. We're taking everything we've learned and creating a practical framework, a guide for building what we're calling your personal empire.
What's a personal empire?
It's whatever you're trying to build that matters to you. Could be a career, a business, a creative project, a community, a family legacy, a skill, or a movement. Anything you want to develop, grow, and have last beyond just today.
And the principles we've seen in historical empires, how they rose, how they sustained power, how they fell, those translate into principles you can use in your life.
So we're making history practical?
Exactly. Today's episode has 3 parts. First, we're going to recap the major lessons from all 20 empires we covered. Second, we'll organize those lessons into the 5 pillars of building a personal empire. And third, we'll give you a practical action plan you can start using immediately.
This is going to be our most practical episode yet.
All right, I'm excited. Let's do this.
Let's start by going through the empires and pulling out the key lessons. Lily, you want to start?
Okay, let's rapid fire through this. We'll mention each empire and the core lesson. Ready?
Ready!
Episode 1, the Roman Empire. Systems over heroes. Rome lasted because they built institutions, laws, government structures, military organization that worked regardless of individual leaders. The lesson? Build systems, not personality cults.
Episode 2. The Mongol Empire. Adapt or become obsolete. The Mongols succeeded through constant adaptation, adopting new tactics, technologies, and administrative systems from conquered peoples. The lesson? Never stop learning and evolving.
Episode 3. The Ottoman Empire. Adapt to stay relevant. The Ottomans lasted 600 years by constantly adapting to changing circumstances until they stopped adapting and fell behind. Same lesson reinforced. Keep evolving.
Episode 4. The British Empire. Ideas outlast armies. The British Empire ended, but English language, parliamentary democracy, and British legal systems spread worldwide. The lesson? Cultural and intellectual influence lasts longer than military power.
Episode 5. The Aztec Empire. Unity matters more than strength. The Aztecs were militarily powerful, but their tribute system created resentment. When the Spanish arrived, subject peoples rebelled. The lesson? You can't rule through fear alone. you need legitimacy and consent.
Episode 6, Ancient Egypt. Stability enables compound growth. Egypt maintained the same core culture for 3,000 years, which allowed knowledge to accumulate and traditions to deepen. The lesson? Continuity and consistency create long-term advantage.
Episode 7, the Persian Empire. Tolerance is a competitive advantage. The Persians respected local cultures and religions, which reduced resistance and attracted talent. The lesson? Inclusion creates strength. Exclusion creates brittleness.
Episode 8, the Spanish Empire. Easy money corrupts. Spain had massive silver flowing from the Americas, but didn't develop their own economy or industry. The lesson? Sustainable success comes from creating value, not just extracting resources.
Episode 9, the Inca Empire. Work with your environment, not against it. The Incas built terraces, roads, and systems adapted to the Andes Mountains. The lesson? Understand your context and adapt to reality, don't fight it.
Episode 10, the Qing Dynasty. Complacency leads to decline. The Qing were successful for 150 years, which made them complacent. When the West arrived with new technologies and ideas, they were unprepared. The lesson? Past success doesn't guarantee future success.
Episode 11, the Mali Empire. Control the distribution, control the wealth. Mali didn't produce gold, but controlled the routes gold traveled. The lesson? You don't always need to create the thing. Controlling access or distribution can be just as valuable.
Episode 12, the Mughal Empire. Beauty doesn't equal strength. The Mughals built stunning monuments and accumulated wealth, but bad governance and religious intolerance created instability. The lesson? Material achievements aren't enough. Governance and justice matter more.
Episode 13, the Khmer Empire. Your greatest strength can become your weakness. The Khmer's hydraulic system made Angkor possible, but also created dependency. When it failed, the civilization collapsed. The lesson? Don't create single points of failure, build redundancy.
Episode 14, Nazi Germany. Systems built on hate always self-destruct. The Nazi regime was built on racism, violence, and totalitarianism. It lasted 12 years and caused unimaginable horror. The lesson? Evil is unsustainable, and we must actively resist dehumanization and authoritarianism.
Episode 15, the Songhai Empire. Technology can be a sudden game changer. The Songhai had everything except gunpowder weapons, and that gap destroyed them in one battle. The lesson? You can't ignore emerging technologies, adapt quickly, or be left behind catastrophically.
Episode 16, the Dutch Empire. Innovation lets small players compete with giants. The Netherlands was tiny, but dominated through financial innovation and superior ship design. The lesson? Intelligence and innovation can overcome size advantages.
Episode 17, the Triple Alliance. Coalitions are powerful but fragile. The Aztec Triple Alliance achieved more together than any city alone, but fractured under pressure. The lesson? Partnerships multiply strength, but require constant maintenance and deep trust.
Episode 18, the Byzantine Empire. Adaptation is survival. The Byzantines survived for 1,000 years by constantly adapting new military systems, diplomacy, even Greek fire. The lesson? Flexibility and adaptation are how you survive existential threats.
Episode 19, the Abbasid Caliphate. Investing in knowledge creates lasting legacy. The Abbasids spent wealth on translation, scholarship, and education. Their political power ended, but their intellectual contributions shaped humanity. The lesson? Knowledge is the most durable form of power.
Episode 20, the Carolingian Empire. Personal greatness can't substitute for institutional strength. Charlemagne achieved incredible things personally, but his empire collapsed after his death. The lesson? Build institutions that outlast you, not just personal relationships.
Okay, so those are 20 different lessons. But here's what's cool. When you look at all of them together, patterns emerge. They group into 5 major themes.
5 pillars that appear across all successful empires.
What are they?
Let's break it down. All right, after studying 20 empires, we've identified 5 core principles that show up repeatedly. These are the 5 pillars of building a personal empire.
Pillar 1. Build systems, not dependency. Rome, ancient Egypt, the Byzantines, Charlemagne, the pattern is clear. Empires that build strong institutions and systems last. Empires that depend on individual charisma collapse when that person leaves.
So how does this apply personally?
Don't make yourself or your projects dependent on one person, one relationship, one opportunity, or one source of income. Build systems, processes, and multiple sources of support. If your success requires you to personally do everything, it's fragile. Create frameworks that work even when you're not there.
Examples. Document your processes so others can follow them. Build teams. Don't just be a solo operator. Create recurring revenue. Don't just chase one-time deals. Develop skills that compound over time, not just what works today.
So diversify and systematize?
Exactly. And pillar 2, adapt constantly or die slowly. The Mongols, Ottomans, Byzantines, Qing, Songhai, every empire that stopped adapting eventually fell. The ones that kept evolving survived longer.
This is crucial. The world changes faster than ever now. Technologies emerge, markets shift, needs evolve. If you're doing things the same way you did 5 years ago, you're already behind.
So how do you adapt constantly?
Build learning into your routine. Read widely. Seek feedback. Experiment with new approaches. Be willing to abandon what worked yesterday if something better emerges. Stay curious. The moment you think you've figured it all out is the moment you start declining.
That's actually one of the biggest lessons. Complacency is death.
Always. And pillar 3. Context and culture matter more than copying. The Incas, Persians, Dutch, Khmer, they succeeded by adapting to their specific context, not by copying others.
This is huge. You can't just copy someone else's blueprint and expect it to work for you. Your circumstances are unique. Your skills, resources, opportunities, constraints are different from everyone else's.
So figure out what works for you specifically.
Exactly. Study others for principles, not for exact playbooks. Understand your environment, your strengths, your resources, your constraints, your opportunities, and design strategies that fit your context.
The Incas didn't try to build like the Romans. They built for mountains and monsoons. The Dutch didn't try to conquer like the Spanish. They traded and innovated. Know your terrain and play to your strengths.
That's liberating, actually. You don't have to do it like everyone else.
You shouldn't do it like everyone else. And pillar 4, values and legitimacy, create sustainable power. The Aztecs, Persians, British, Songhai, Mughals, empires that ruled through fear or exploitation eventually faced rebellions. Empires that earned legitimacy lasted longer.
In your personal empire, this means do things that align with your values, treat people well, build reputation and trust, create value for others, don't just extract from them. The Aztec tribute system created resentment. The Persian tolerance created loyalty.
So be ethical and create win-wins?
It's not just ethics, though that matters. It's strategy. When people support you voluntarily because they believe in what you're doing, that's stronger than forcing compliance. Build something people want to be part of, not something they're trapped in.
Your personal brand, your relationships, your projects, they need legitimacy. People need to believe in you and what you're doing. And pillar 5, focus on legacy, not just achievement. Ancient Egypt, the Abbasids, Rome, the Byzantines, the empires we remember most, built things that lasted beyond their political power.
So think long-term.
Think about what outlasts you. The Abbasids' political empire ended, but they preserved knowledge that shaped civilization. The British Empire ended, but the language and ideas spread. Egypt lasted because they built for eternity.
In your life, this means What will people remember? What will remain after you're gone? Are you building something disposable or something enduring? Invest in relationships, knowledge, culture, and systems that compound and last.
So legacy is about what you leave, not what you take.
Exactly. Charlemagne conquered a lot, but what lasted was the manuscripts his monks copied and the educational traditions he established.
So those are the 5 pillars. Build systems, adapt constantly, know your context, earn legitimacy, and focus on legacy.
Now let's make this practical. How do you actually apply this?
All right, so we've got the principles. Now what? How do I actually start building my personal empire tomorrow?
Great question. Here's your action plan. Specific steps you can take right now.
Step 1. Define your empire. You need clarity on what you're building. Take 30 minutes this week and write down, what do I want to build? What matters to me? What does success look like in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years?
So get specific about the vision?
Yes. You can't build strategically if you don't know what you're building. The Romans knew they wanted to control the Mediterranean. The Dutch knew they wanted to dominate trade. What do you want to dominate or create?
It could be anything. I want to be the best architect in my city. I want to build a company that employs 100 people. I want to create art that moves people. I want to raise a family with strong values. Just define it clearly.
Step 2. Audit your current systems. Look at how you're operating now. Are you a Charlemagne, doing everything personally? Or are you building systems like Rome?
Ask yourself, if I couldn't work for a month, what would continue? What would collapse? The things that would collapse are dependencies. The things that would continue are systems.
Then fix the dependencies, document processes, delegate tasks, build routines and habits that work automatically, use technology to automate what you can, create checklists and frameworks.
So make yourself less essential to the day-to-day?
Exactly. Your goal is to build something that doesn't require your constant presence to function.
Step 3. Commit to continuous learning. Schedule learning time. This is how you adapt like the Mongols and Byzantines instead of stagnating like the Qing.
What does that look like?
Read for 30 minutes daily. Listen to podcasts like this one. Take courses. Attend conferences. Have conversations with people outside your field. Experiment with new tools and methods. Track what you're learning and how you're applying it.
And specifically learn about emerging technologies and changes in your field. Don't be like the Songhai who ignored gunpowder until it was too late. If AI, automation, or new platforms are changing your industry, learn about them now.
Step 4. Know your terrain. Assess your context honestly. What resources do you actually have? What constraints? What opportunities?
The Incas built for mountains, the Dutch built for trade. What are you building for? What's your environment, your unique skills, your competitive advantages, your limitations?
Write it down. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, a classic SWOT analysis. Then design strategies that leverage your strengths and compensate for weaknesses.
So play to your advantages, not someone else's playbook.
Exactly. Don't try to be someone you're not. Be the best version of who you actually are.
Step 5. Build your legitimacy. This is about reputation and relationships. How do you earn trust and respect?
How do you do that?
Deliver value consistently. Keep your commitments. Be honest. Help others succeed. Build genuine relationships, not transactional ones. Treat people well, especially when you don't have to.
Think about the Persian Empire. Tolerance and respect created loyalty. Think about the Aztecs. Exploitation created rebellion. Which do you want?
The one where people actually like you and want to work with you.
Then act accordingly. Your reputation is your most valuable asset. Protect it.
Step 6. Think legacy. Regularly ask yourself, if I disappeared tomorrow, what would remain? What am I building that lasts?
This shifts your focus from short-term wins to long-term impact. It makes you prioritize differently. Teaching someone? That's legacy. Creating something people can use after you're gone? That's legacy. Building relationships that matter? Legacy.
The Abbasids preserved knowledge. That's why we remember them. What knowledge, value, or impact are you creating and preserving?
So think like ancient Egypt. Build for 3,000 years, not just next quarter.
At least think beyond yourself in your lifetime.
Step 7. Review and adjust quarterly. Every 3 months, do a personal empire review. What's working? What's not? What needs to change?
Why quarterly?
Frequent enough to catch problems early, infrequent enough to see real patterns. The empires that survived did regular assessments. The ones that ignored warning signs fell.
Ask, am I building systems or dependencies? Am I adapting or stagnating? Am I playing to my strengths? Am I earning legitimacy? Am I focused on legacy? Then adjust based on honest answers.
So it's an ongoing process?
Always. Building an empire, personal or historical, is never finished. It's constant building, adapting, and maintaining.
But the good news is, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be improving consistently.
All right, we've covered a lot today. Let's bring it home. Charlie, what's your biggest takeaway from season 1?
Honestly, that the same principles show up everywhere. Doesn't matter if it's ancient Egypt or the Dutch Republic or the Mongols. The patterns repeat. Adaptation matters. Systems matter. Context matters. Values matter. Legacy matters. If you understand those principles, you can build anything.
That's exactly right. Lily?
Mine is that power isn't about domination, it's about creation. The empires we admire most aren't the ones that conquered the most brutally. They're the ones that built things that lasted: knowledge, culture, institutions, ideas. That's the kind of power worth pursuing.
Beautiful. Mine is that failure isn't the end. It's information. Every empire we covered eventually fell. Every single one. But that doesn't make them failures. They taught us things. They left legacies. The goal isn't to never fall. It's to build something meaningful while you can. Learn from mistakes and leave something valuable behind.
So failure is inevitable, but meaninglessness is a choice.
That's profound, Charlie, yes.
I love that.
All right, before we close out, I want to say thank you. Thank you for joining us on this journey through 20 empires. Thank you for your reviews, messages, and support. We started this show because we believe history isn't just interesting, it's useful. And I hope you're leaving season 1 with tools you can actually use.
We're already working on season 2, and it's going to be incredible. More empires, more lessons, and we're going deeper into specific themes like military strategy, economic systems, and cultural power.
If you haven't already, please leave us a review. It genuinely helps more people discover the show, and share your favorite episode with someone who'd love it.
And here's a challenge. Pick one thing from today's action plan and do it this week. Just one. Define your empire, audit your systems, schedule learning time, assess your context, build legitimacy, think about legacy, or plan a review. Just pick one and start.
Because knowledge without action is just entertainment.
Exactly. So go build your empire, whatever that means for you. Start small, think big, adapt constantly, and focus on legacy.
You've got this.
We believe in you.
All right, that's it for season 1 of Blueprints of Power. Thank you for being part of this community.
I'm Lily.
I'm Charlie.
And I'm Jack, and we'll see you in season 2. Peace out. Oh, one more thing.
Of course, there's one more thing.
We want to hear from you. What empire should we cover in season 2? What lessons resonated most? What questions do you still have? Send us messages on social media or leave a review telling us what you want to hear.
This show is a conversation. We're building this together.
Your personal empire includes this community. We're all learning from each other.
So reach out, share your thoughts, and we'll see you soon for season 2.
Now go build something that lasts.